Okay, so now this is part 2 of the Ghost Charm video. Flip your cra-z-loom so that these two ends are facing you. I'm going to try my best to show you how to do this. As I recommended, you might choose this part to just follow the looping instructions as you would from Made by Mommy's video. You know, follow part 1 of mine so you got the layout right for adjusting it as far as doing it on a cra-z-loom, but pretty much the looping steps are going to be identical. They just got a better video, better lighting, and better edit. So we're going to come to the left side of the cra-z-loom and grab both rubber bands at this end from within the first triangle. Use your fingers to kind of keep rubber bands that you don't want to come off the loom down, but make sure you're placing your fingers so you're not on top of the actual peg, because you still need to get the two you need off of the peg. And just bring these two loops over forward to the other end of where they originated, like so. Then we're actually going to come down here to the right side instead of the middle. So like I said, it's like the triple single, except it's a variation of it in order to get the ghost. So come back within that first triangle and grab both rubber bands and bring them up forward to your peg, like so. Now, if you want to do it like sunshine, you would go back inside this first triangle and you would go in and you would grab these two rubber bands and bring them up forward, and that will give you that single gap that gives you the ghost mouth. But like I said before, we're doing it as I saw it on Made by Mommy. So we're actually going to bring this triangle up to here behind this peg. So it's like this. And then this is a tricky part because it's going to get really, really loose because we're doing it like this. You're going to bring this up and forward to its next rubber band, but you might have to use your fingers to tuck those two bands in underneath your cra-z-loom's peg hook. So it's like that. And then because it's so loose right here, I'm actually going to go in the middle here, push back both bands that are above it, and grab the two bottom ones here, and bring it up and forward. And that will secure that part. Now, at this point, it's totally your option. You can go and do like one row, go all the way up, then stop at the diagonal. Then you can come over to your right side and do the same thing and stop at the diagonal, and then you can do the middle. Or you can like just make sure that you're looping it in order, like you go from left to right, looping them one row at a time. I'm going to do it. It's easier to do it if you just do it a full vertical row and then coming over. So now we're going to come back in here, and you got to push all these other white rubber bands back, because like the rubber bands, the white ones that you're going to be looping together, they should be your two bottommost rubber bands if you made sure that when you're laying them out that they're not falling below the other rubber bands when you're putting the new ones on top. So you push back all your rubber bands until you see these two from inside the hole, and you hook those two and you bring them up forward. So I'm going to do that, push them back, and grab both rubber bands at the bottom. See how I'm using my thumb to hold the other rubber bands down so they don't come off of the peg, and then loop it forward. Again, go in the hole. It's a little bit easier at this point because you're just pushing back the triangle. So do not loop the triangle. Get your hook inside the hole and push the triangle band back so you're just grabbing the two here. But make sure you're grabbing from within the triangle. That way you're looping that in. That's what's going to hold your ghost's body together. Then we're going to come up to this next one, and that's the eye. So push back go inside of the triangle in this peg. Push it back and grab the two black and loop them forward. Then on this peg, push the triangle back and grab the two white at the bottom and pull them forward. And then you're going to stop looping on this side. So do not do the diagonal. Not yet. I like to come back over and I do the right side instead of going straight into the middle. So push it in. Make sure you're pushing all these white rubber bands back with your hook so that you're getting the two bottommost white rubber bands on your right side. And pull them up forward to the next peg. Sorry, my hands are shaky, but if I had a better camera or a better tripod and better camera, I would have this laying down on the table. Then go in, do the next one. And again, like I said, you're grabbing from within the triangle. So push the triangle back and hook the two white ones down here and bring them up forward to the next one. So now we finished the right side. Do not do this diagonal here. You're going to come back down to the bottom where we began at with looping, and we're going to do the next middle one. So you see all this tight white banded ones? Put your hook inside the hole. This thing was designed to help you loop your bands, so take advantage of that. So put your hook in the hole. Use the back of the hook to push back all the rubber bands except for the two on the very bottom. Those are the ones you want to hook. Let your hook fall down in the bottom of your cra-z-loom, and you see you'll have a lot easier time hooking the two rubber bands up and over. And you should be seeing like a teardrop forming during the looping process. That lets you know you're grabbing the right rubber bands. You should see a teardrop when you're pulling forward. So again, you have two rubber bands at the top that you want to push back in this hole. And grab those two white ones at the bottom, bring them up and over. And use like a slight like left or right motion when you're pulling your rubber bands off. This will help you clear the square-shaped pegs of your cra-z-loom. And you'll find that once you clear this peg, it'll be easier to pull your rubber bands up and over to the next one. Again, pushing back, like now it gets a little bit easier because now you only have one band to push back. We'll do this one. And we're going to stop at the top of our diagonal with these two. So do not loop this one. That's what binds everything together. That's your charm loop. So don't do this one. You do just this one. And now you're going to come and do the diagonal bands. So we're going to come over on our left side, and we're going to grab the single diagonal band here. We're going to pull it up over and loop it. And if you have to, push down your rubber bands to make room. Cra-z-loom pegs aren't very tall, but, to be honest, none of the rubber band loom pegs are very tall. So push it down to make room. Come over here on your right, and you're going to do your last diagonal on your right. Bring your hook down in here. Bring it up and over, like so. Looking at the timer on this camera, so I'm really, really hoping I don't have to do that. And you notice how, don't be afraid to let your other hand help you with getting your rubber bands where they need to go. So, it should look like this. I'm showing you from that. This is how it should look like so far. So this is the last one we're going to loop. Make sure you get your hook down in all these loops in the hole. So then there should be only one white one left at the bottom that you're going to grab. You probably can't see it with this camera angle, but grab it. It's your bottommost white rubber band that belongs to your charm loop. And bring it over. It's going to be tight. So just stretch it enough so that it makes it over there. You're going to notice how it's really, really stretched out. It's not forming the teardrop nicely like it did here, but this is the right one. Then you're going to take the bottom part with your hook, and you're actually going to bring it up and over the top and just drop it right there. And you go ahead and grab this piece and hold on to it, and I'm going to put this down some. Use your fingers to help pull all those rubber bands up and off while you're holding on to that loop. and then give it a nice tug so that it forms a knot, and it'll secure your ghost. And you can pull it off this way, but here's the thing with the cra-z-loom. It's a lot easier to pull them from behind the hooked shaped pegs than it is to pull it from where you finish off at. So if some of you have been snapping off your creations, that's probably what was happening. Is see how easy it is? I just barely pulled it and it's all coming up now. So right now, Mr. Ghost looks a little funky and bent, but that's no problem. You're just going to tug on him, and he will look like what he's supposed to. Ta-da! So, that's the other thing. If your bracelets look funky or your charms look funky, just remember that, just tug on it, push and pull it until it looks the way you want to, because you have it looped right. If you follow the instructions correctly, when you adjust it, it'll look like this. So see? Just like the first one I did. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll be able to figure out how to do some other designs that may have led you to believe that you have to have a certain branded loom when you actually just need to do a minor adjustment. So thanks for watching.